Welcome back, patrons. This is some red mahogany that I had gotten from a local place around here. I use this DeWalt miter saw. This is the DeWalt stand, and then I also have the table saw. And what you're seeing me do here is square off the edges. That way I can plane it and get it flat. I just got this planer too. It's really great. I like it a lot. You can see that you have to burn a board to make sure you don't get sniped. And I should have followed through too, but I was able to cut the piece off. And I just reuse this little thing that I have here for this little tray that I have for leveling things out. You just shim it up. And the nice thing about having everything on wheels is I can roll it outside and do it. This is the jet joiner that I have. You don't see it come into play too much, but I've been using it a lot more now. And here I'm just cutting the frame pieces. This is quarter sawn wood. Quarter sawn's good for the rigid edges of a frame. And what I did was I just cut out the corner piece of it. You'll see that here in a minute. This is me just leveling off the table saw. Just putting in some B-roll footage. So here's the L piece that I cut out, the little corner, and this will help me set the basis for the frame that I'm about to use. I really like this push stick, this push micro jig thing. It's great. It really does a good job. I feel like I'm safe too when I use it. So I show the wood here. I don't know what kind of wood that is. It might be like a hickory or something. They sold it to me as oak, but I don't think it's oak. And here I am just cutting the miter for each piece. I like to usually like to clamp it a little bit when I'm doing the miter. You'll see it come into play here in a minute. I do it for the second miter cut on each piece. It really holds it still, and it makes sure that I don't overcut that line. And here you're going to see it speed up a little bit more. Yeah. That's a 96 tooth DeWalt blade. It's done pretty good so far. This is a jig that I made just for doing the frame. It was actually a pretty cool idea. I saw it on YouTube, and I used it. It worked out really good. It squared everything up really nicely. I'm just tired today. You're just getting everything flat. I like to use those little nylon hammers. Me just being picky. And a couple clamps I put on for extra protection. Those are the Bessie clamps. They work really good. This is me just going through the grits. You can see that I got a piece of wax on the left there. I'm going to be using that here in a little bit. I'll explain why I chose to use it. But I sanded that to 3000 grit. And I did 2 or 3 coats of this. Maybe 4. I definitely did 2 really good coats. Let it soak in. And then wet sanded, or just sanded it to 3000 grit again. But yeah, it really came out. It had a lot of shine to it. I was really proud of the sign. It was really. This inspired me to do more. And there's extra clamps, so you can see my shop becomes a mess slowly as I get more and more into this. So I like to leave the tripod movements in too every once in a while. So same thing here. I'm just gonna go take it to the grits. I take it up to, I think I take the frame up to 400 or 600 or something like that. I think just 600 light edge keeps the edges good. I don't like to sand the edges until the miter is complete. And I used Titebond Dark. It actually came out really good. I didn't see any lines. I don't think I had any bleed out. Oh, I keep yawning. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just using like a regular paintbrush. Spread the glue. Set the piece in, and here you get to see all of the clamping techniques that I'm about to bring into play. But I probably could have shortened that, but I think it's good to leave stuff like this in. I feel like I cut a lot out. At the same time, you want to make sure you cut enough to still be able to just tell a story. I had that big weight there. I use that weight all around the shop. That just follows me. I use it on the drill press to get a certain height. I use it for weighting things down. Here comes an ice pick. The ice pick is the one tool that makes it in just about every video. I use that thing so much. Thank you, Jimmy. So I took this sign to Maker Camp. That's what's really cool. This was my giveaway. Sophie got it. If you've checked my channel, she commented on it on Instagram. You can find her there. So this is plain sun. You got like a grain that really pops. And I've got a music version in my Dropbox. You guys can find it in my link tree if you want to listen to it. I think it's also posted here. That's a cool trick. That's how you cut a board that doesn't fit in the throat of the bandsaw. And I did pretty good at getting some cool angles on this. This is a Fast Hand. That's my font that I use and my logo. I like to film with the watch too sometimes. I don't do it every time. But the watch, it allows you to record and stop whenever you want. Letter A. The letter A in this font is very pyramid-like, but I got so good at cutting letters out again, just from doing the bandsaw cowboy stuff. This is kind of a spin-off on that too, you know. Since I was doing so much with the bandsaw cowboy, I figured a sign was a perfect thing to give, and anyone could hang it up. The K is fun. The two letters that are probably the hardest is the letter O and the letter Q, because you have to cut them open. Or the number 8. The number 8's pretty tricky. That was a neat transition into the E up close. Jimmy once told me film more up close, so every video I try to get a little bit more and more up close and personal with the camera shots. You can see my pencil, I got little grooves in it, that way I can like feel the pencil pretty much. It doesn't slip through my hand. This is a 1954 Delta bandsaw. So I'm just sanding on a piece of MDF. I don't think it's straight anymore. I was looking at it the other day. It looks pretty warped. And I always keep acetone in a spray bottle. It never goes bad if you buy the right bottle. They're the Zep bottles. I was told JD's wife works at that company. I pre-taped it out. Nobody really cares to watch me tape it out. I don't think. It's kind of a boring thing to film. Shoot, man. I keep yawning. I'm so tired. There it is, coming together. It's great because this font, it really allows you to have a deviation in the perfection. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's very forgiving. There's parts that are up higher, parts that are down lower. Yet I still took the time to measure everything out and tried to make it as perfect as I could. I had cut these scenes down a little bit, but somehow they got snuck in to the no music version that I did. I think I might have Controlled Z'd and made the scene a little bit longer. So there's those weights again. And peel the tape up. You can see it left a deviation in the oil, but all you got to do is add more. Comes right back to life. Lay the towel down because I'm putting the face of it down. And these are just little brass screws that I got off of Amazon. They're D-rings. I wanted to use string, so that was my goal, is to try and use some string. Do this like an old-fashioned mount. There's the ice pick again. Once again, it's a wonderful tool. I always put electrical tape on my drill bits. It's one way to flag it. If I had drill collars, those are nice too, but I had pre-screwed these in because brass is so soft and that wood was so hard. It was stripping out the screws, and you can see on that screw there's wax all over it. I put a little bit of beeswax on it so that way it drives in a little bit easier. Soap would work too, or anything that's kind of oil based. So this is hemp string and beeswax. So I put the beeswax all on the string and it got chunky, so I took the heat gun, melted it, and it got all soaked in the fibers. And one, it's going to make it last longer. Two, on the left you see the hairy string, on the right you see the not hairy string. It's going to extend the life of it. And this is just a cool fancy way of tying the string. It's kind of reminds me of like putting a tie on or something like that. So you cross over like a Windsor. And it goes under, comes back, and goes through the same loop. You'll see to come back the same way. There it goes. And then you pull it through. See, over, under, and through. There you go. It's like a Windsor. And snip that. And masking tape is a common thing that they used back in the day, just to tape it off. You can always untape that and readjust it. I went back and tied some string around it too, so that way it won't ever go anywhere. and it's just long enough to sit below the height of it. And you see me grab it, and here I hang it up, and man, such a beautiful sign. I really wanted to keep this one, but I'm happy it went to somebody who appreciates it. Thank you again, patrons. Appreciate it.